Hi, garden friends, and welcome back to Tubi's Garden. I am sorry I haven't posted in a long time. Other things just kind of took my attention away, and I just kind of, I don't know, did other stuff for a while, but I'm back, baby, I'm back. So I wanted to start here in my front yard because I wanted to show you my tomatoes. I actually did a fundraiser this year for the food bank where I sold tomatoes for $3 and donated the proceeds to our local food bank. And I did 26 varieties or something like that. I was crazy. But I kept 13, 14, 15 of them. That's all I had room for. I want to see how they grow. So I have them in here. I'm trying these fabric bags for the first time. I don't know. We'll see how we do. I'm having a hard time even now keeping them wet, and it isn't even that hot. So we will see. I even have drip to them and everything, but someone told me actually just today, mulch the top and that should help. So I'm excited. But look, it's May, and I've got beautiful tomatoes already. So I'm super excited. Look at this guy. I mean, I am really excited. I'm just so pleased with how well they're doing so far. So wish me luck that, we can survive in triple digit temperatures. I mean, look at how healthy they are. But as you guys may remember, this is the star of the show. This is my Eden climber. I have 3 varieties of clematis in here, 2 purple and 1 white. I unfortunately pruned a little too hard this year, and I think I pruned off the white, but the purples are doing really well. I mean, just look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? The rains came this year at a really terrible time, unfortunately, just as all of my Eden blooms were just bursting forth, and so a lot of them unfortunately molded, but they're still there. We're at the tail end. And, Eden is just really just a perfection of a rose. I'm so happy. I have another climber under here. This is Perfume Angel. Not really all that impressed with it. Yes, it smells good. It was covered in blooms. I did get a lot of blooms from it. But it always just looks like this. Kind of droopy, like it's thirsty. I don't know. And then I've got my dwarf nectarine and my citrus here, which is doing great. I got a great crop, and boy, this earlier this spring, the smell of the blossoms was just intoxicating. It was so good. If you could just bottle that and drink it or perfume with it, I would totally do that. Sorry for the mess. We're having some exterior work done on our house. And then this whole side yard is new. So for those of you who may remember, this was just rock before. I'm turning this into my hummingbird highway. So I'm putting in plants here that hummingbirds like. And I've got things in here like verbena. This is the native verbena. Salvia. This is the rock and purple. They love it. I've got fuchsia here. I've got trumpet flower that will bloom. Angel's trumpet, which will bloom eventually. I've got flowering maple. This is tiger's eye. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? It's so distinct. And isn't that gorgeous? It just looks so cool. And then it kind of comes in and then it fades to a red. Isn't that pretty? So that does really well in shade. Some of these don't, and so I'm just kind of experimenting to see what I can. And like this salvia prefers sun, but look, I'm getting pretty good blooms from it. I have a pineapple sage. We'll see how well that does. More flowering maple. I've got monarda. I've got some geranium. What do you call it? Medanense. Giant herb, Robert, I think is its common name. So I've got that there. Another angel's trumpet. So we'll see. I've got some salvia, things here. So far, I think it's doing really well. I tell you, the hummingbirds absolutely love it. They love it. And what they really love is this hummingbird feeder. This is their favorite. They love it so much. But they also love this vermillionaire, which is Kufia. Proven Winners variety of it is called vermillionaire, but there's also Hummingbird Lunch. There's a couple different ones. And the so-called annual Mystic Spires, which this is its 3rd year. So for us, it's a temperennial. And then I have this cute little Cherry Falls, it's called. Cherry Falls. Aren't those cute? Look how sweet they are. But yeah, this is the space to be. Can you hear the hummingbird? He's up there right now, or she's up there right now saying, hey, get out of my way. I'm wanting to come in. And then for those of you who may remember, this is my orphan garden. My orphan garden. I put things in here that I don't really know what to do with, or I need to move, but I don't really have a place for them yet, or, you know. So I've got a few things in here. I've got bok choy that has flowered. I've let it gone, you know, bolted. I've let it do that because the pollinators, the native pollinators, love this plant. I've got some tomatillos in here. And then I've got this beautiful hydrangea. I've got a white and a purple. The white one is in bloom. Not pretty. And then the purple one in the back is really budded up. And then I put in this new bird feeder, or bird bath that bubbles. It just is turned off because of the work they're doing on the house. But it gives me a nice little bubbling, and it's a nice little thing to look at right here. So this is all kind of come a long way, and it will continue to evolve. I'm putting in a fence here to block the trash cans, and we're replacing this fence. You can see we've already taken down one part of it, and we're going to replace it with corten steel hog wire, so it will match the trellises that we have. And then I'm going to put another trellis up here to match the other side. So you'll see we took off this part here, and we'll get something a little bit more architectural put in. And then here's my newest little grouping. This is a shadier spot now that the Chinese pistache above us has filled in, so I might need to retool some of these pots. These are all hummingbird favorites, and I think they just need a little bit more. Oops, sorry, there's a helicopter or plane or something going overhead making a little bit of noise. We'll just wait for that. Yeah, helicopter. So this is, you know, some things are doing really well. My maidenhair fern, actually even my red fountain grass, it's more green than red, but I actually really like that. And then this is a red sentinel Japanese maple, so it grows with these really long branches straight up and down. See that? So it tucks in here really nicely. So when we get our fence back here, built back here, it fits in this spot really nicely. And then here's our entryway into my backyard, which has really, I think you've seen in other videos, you know, we've been working and I've undergone a huge change with this. I think you can probably tell, you know, all of the changes. So I'll walk you through some of the big things, but I won't name everything or this is going to be an hour long. But this bed here, this is a tough bed. This beautiful Chinese pistache tree takes all the water and nutrients from the soil here. In fact, it's doing other things. It's like lifting up our concrete right now. So we love it. It's a gorgeous tree, but it brings challenges for this bed. And so I had a rhododendron in here that just didn't like it. A couple other things. I finally found, I think, the combination that works. So I have a Japanese maple in the back with liriope on either side and azalea in the front. And then in this front bed, I've got a lemon cypress, a camellia sasenqua underplanted with Japanese forest grass. And then I've got coral bells, heuchera in here. I've got the apple twist, which I love this chartreuse. I've got a nice long line, and then I had it ran short, so then I just had these three. They'll fill in, no problem. And then I've got the wild berry, bright purple in there, which a couple more will really bring a pop. And then I've got hellebore, Lenten rose. And let me just tell you, these plants, stunning, stunning, just gorgeous. Look at that. This is at the tail end, but they were so pretty. You can see they were just covered with gorgeous. I went for the mauve. You know, they fade to this green, but I still think they're pretty. And I got a lot of these like double ones. Look how pretty those are. So I'm really happy with this. I have some foxgloves in the back. Honestly, I thought they were going to be a little taller. But these are the Dalmatian variety, which they bloom in year 1 versus year 2. And so maybe that's the trade-off, because you get the blooms the first year, you don't get the tall spike. So they're a little tucked and hidden back there, but they're so pretty. They're just one of my favorite flowers. And I'm really trying to repeat. You'll see the chartreuse, the purple. I'm really working, and the gray. I'm really trying to work those colors in everywhere. So that's been my goal, is more repeat. So I've got all this. This is a tough section for me because of the nutrients. In fact, you see I'm dealing with chlorosis, you can tell it's chlorosis because you see the dark veining with the light green leaves. So I have to come in here. But there are some plants that do really well. So like this dead nettle, loves it, totally fine. I just planted these ajuga, so we'll see how they do. And I planted 3 geranium. So once those gardenias. So once those gardenias fill in, I will relocate these sweet spires. These are little Henrys. I'll relocate them somewhere, maybe where they're happier. This guy looks like it wants a little bit of food, but they should do okay because I can top dress with that acidifier, granular fertilizer. And so I can kind of keep on top of it, hopefully. And then this corner is kind of my shade bed. So I've got my hostas, sweet woodruff, some more ajuga, Daphne, lungworts in here, sorrel, bloody dock is what they call it. I don't really like that name very much. Just a little sort of conglomeration of all little shady things. So I just continue to try and add in here, but it's really hard to plant in here. The ground is like rock hard and riddled with roots. And so it's every plant for him or herself at this point. My campanula, this is so pretty. Little bellflowers are doing well. So kind of repeat. And then you come around to this bed, which is a sun transition bed. In the winter, it's pretty much 100% shade because this is a south facing wall. So it just gets almost shade when our sun is, to the south. It just gets so much shade. And then in the summer, it gets a couple hours of that hot afternoon sun. So it's kind of a tough place to plant. This Dependable Beauty Rose does really well despite having so much shade. I looked for hours trying to find another one, and unfortunately they don't make it anymore. I'm really sad about that. But I would like to have more of this because it just does so well. And then some of the repeating elements that you'll see, and I'll point out, I've got pink cashmere, Proven Winners Superbena, and Royal Velvet Supertunia from Proven Winners. Those are my 2 elements that I'm trying to put everywhere. And so I'll show you kind of like, how I'm trying to incorporate that continuity in my garden. I had Michael Glassman here for a consultation, and he said, your problem is you have too much of everything. So I'm really taking, things out and replacing them with, repeat elements. And so those are the plants I've chosen to try and do that with. This is my Daphne. It's a monster. I just finished flowering. It's flowers in winter, so I can now cut it back to a little bit more manageable size. And then I've got, a river of sea lavender all through here. Sea lavender does really well for us. So I'm excited to see those. These are babies that my mom actually dug for me up in her garden. So we just planted those and they'll fill in. And then look at this guy. I almost pulled this plant out. I asked my mom, do you want it? Because it wasn't really doing anything. And this is the first year. This is a Ceanothus, California lilac, a native plant. It's gorgeous. This is the first year that's ever looked this good. And it's covered with native bees, which are very different than the California bees that, see, there's one right there. I don't know if you can see it on camera. The honeybees that we're used to, right? The native bees are small and stripy, and they love this plant. They're all over it. And we need to plant more stuff to support our native bee population. There's something like 100 different types of bees. Who knew? My hardy hibiscus, summerific, berry awesome, used to be in my middle bed, my middle patio bed. I moved it over here where it could grow to its full and natural size, which is giant. So it's in here and it's coming back, flushing out beautifully. So I'm excited. And Shasta Daisy, Walker's Low catmint. And then this is my favorite tree ever, ever, ever. And there's my hummingbird chirping at me. Hey, get out of the way, I want to eat. This is a tulip magnolia. And holy moly, I love this tree so much. I think I love it all the time now, with its pretty green leaves, but look at the trunk. It's so mottled with, I guess, lichen. It always blooms every year around my birthday in February. So I would think, oh, hello. Can you see? He's right there. Yeah, they're not shy. So then I've got that's green glow azalea. And this was here when we moved here. So I don't know which one it is, but it's a pretty like reddish fuchsia, more red than I would like. You guys know I'm not a huge red fan, but it's too pretty to pull out. They're done, of course. So I'll have to knock off I discovered, finally, after 10 years of living here, I discovered the best way to get rid of these is to hit them with a jet stream from my hose, and it knocks them all off. So I'll do that. So there's that bed. It's really coming together. I'm really happy. And I'm thinking about putting 2 trellises to match, made out of hog wire to match, and growing up some things so I get some height above this fence. I think that would fill in this section really nice. We have our neighbor's pomegranate, and then we have, of course, our tulip magnolia, but there's this big open fence, maybe some pretty vines there. Then coming back this way, this is the sunniest part of my garden on this side of the house. So I've got this carpet rose that does just phenomenal. I've got some GMs in here. These are Pretty Coat Peach. Love them. They start blooming in February or so, and they just don't quit. They are just so pretty. Hardy geranium does great. I have another one over on the other side. They just love it. There's a honeybee right on it. They love it. I have penstemon bop, B-O-P, which stands for bottom of porch. Isn't that funny? It just kind of does that. It flops over and kind of grows that way. I didn't really realize that. So I may need to move it out because it's kind of getting crowded by the rows. And then I have a peony in there that is getting eaten up by all the other plants. So, and then I have a pittosporum and Shasta daisy, sunjoy, barberry, which I love having something other than pink or purple, which, as you guys know, is kind of my go-to colors. So having this pop of orange in there, I think, gives it a nice contrast. I just wish it didn't have all the thorns. They're the worst. Main night salvia, super popular. Just some other things. I've got tempo rose, GM in here. Honestly, I thought they got bigger than they are, so I'm gonna have to maybe buy some more and plant it. This is Gara, which I love, but it flopped over in all the rain. And I think it just wants a little bit more sun. I have another one on the other side, so I think maybe this might need to move. I think this is a Veronica, a speedwell of some sort. It probably would like more sun, but it's not doing too bad with a blue fescue. And then look isn't this pretty? This is ice plant. I don't remember what the botanical name of this one is, but it's ice plant. It's just a variety of it. And it really would like more sun, but this is in shade. It's doing really well. So pretty. And then here's a Michael Glassman idea. So, he said, look, you come in to your cool fire pit, you should feel like you're walking into a secret garden. And so to achieve that effect, plant nothing but these cousin-it acacias all around. And so I am doing just that. I'm going to plant a whole bunch of, you'll see from here, all along here, I've got more. I'm going to move this to the other side. So I'll have this ring of cousin acacias, and then this homestead verbena. I have that all starting to fill in here. So this will all be blue, purple verbena all throughout here with the cousin-it acacia here. So I think that will be really cool. And where I can, I'm going to dot this hardy geranium. This is I can never say it, Bicolova, whatever. I have a label. I can look at it for the variety name when we go inside. But yeah, so then this is salvia, rockin' purple. This is living its best life. The pollinators love it. The carpenter bees, the hummingbirds, the honeybees, this is a popular spot. And then here's that other Gara, which this definitely needs to move. It's not getting enough enough sun at all. Now this bed is hard because this is another, I guess, sun transition bed or partly shady. Oh, do you see the cardinal on the bird bath? Oh, I don't think I've ever seen a cardinal. Oh, and then there's a hummingbird on the feeder. Where'd he go? There. I tell you, it's like wild kingdom around here. But I've never seen a cardinal here before. If that is a cardinal, I'm not even sure. Look at that cute little hummingbird. Can you see it? So fun. This is wild kingdom back here. So in this bed, it gets morning sun. Oh, it's back. Is that a cardinal? I don't even know. It's got a red head. You see it? I can't go up any closer, and if I walk over there, it'll startle it. So fun. So I planted originally along here the plant I can never remember the name of. It looks like chamomile, but it's not. And it filled in gorgeous. It was all the same size and it was all super healthy. And then all of a sudden it all came down with powdery mildew. Like the whole thing, all of the plants were completely covered in it. I was like, what the heck? I've never had that before. So I pulled them out. I don't have powdery mildew anywhere in my yard, so I don't know why, but oh well. And I replaced it with this surefire begonia, which they say does well in sun or shade, which is true. But do you see what I see? Look at this little baby one right here. And this gets the most shade. And as you follow this line, it gets more and more and more sun until you get to the sunniest spot. And look at the size of that. The plants I had in here before didn't do that. They were all one size. These being so different, I think looks kind of funny, but maybe that little one will catch up. I don't know. And look, we're putting in that edging, which I really love because it stops all the dirt from washing into our patio. And then do you see these are not weeds. All of these are self-seeding pansies, violas, Johnny jump ups. They've all self-seeded because I had some here as well. So I'm excited to see what happens there. And then I got, this is new. This is a weeping redbud. Say that 5 times fast. Ruby Falls. And I have another one on the other side of the garden for my repeating element. Here's my homestead blue repeating element. So that will start to fill in, and another barberry. So you'll see I'm really working hard to take Michael Glassman his advice into account. I have a hydrangea. This is the only hydrangea I have left in my yard. I keep pulling them out because I'm so unhappy with their performance. This is a little lime punch. So fingers crossed because it might have a short lifespan here. And it also, I have like this peony that I didn't even know was there. So I'm gonna have to dig that up. This is new. This is a David Austin Desdemona. I can never say that. It's like a creamy white and it will kind of fill in this whole area. And because I'm moving this Gara, it'll be a nice white element here. I can't wait. I can't wait for that to fill in. And then this bed, you may notice, used to have Lady Emma Hamilton David Austin roses, but I struggled with them and their health. They just weren't healthy. Just always black spot. And I have other David Austin roses that I do not have that problem. So it was just a problem with that particular variety. So I pulled them, and now I have 3 Princess Alexandra of Kent in here. There's one, they're babies, so I didn't get, huge blooms from them, of course. Here's one blossom that's left. I just tell you, it looks like a kind of an ordinary pink right now, but this is aged. When they come out, they are the most stunning coral pink. It just reminds me of like a tropical sunset. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. So I'm excited for those to grow and fill in this whole area. I planted the Johnny jump ups, pansies, violas. I planted them all through here for winter, and they were gorgeous, and I really enjoyed them. In fact, I still have some in my little tiered. They just make me happy. Look at their sweet little faces. They make me happy. I love the color. I just love everything about these guys. So this is something I will do again. They're all, of course, going to die. We're supposed to hit 91 this by Saturday. So the end of cool is over. So these will, die, but I will definitely do this again. And then I've got my lion fountain where I have grape punch, silver, super bells, pretty apricot begonia. And then I have a new variety. Did I keep the tag in here? No, it's an upright verbena, and it's kind of like a fuchsia color, but it's upright instead of a trailing. So it should stick up and kind of give me some height here, which I think is kind of cool. So yeah, this is coming along, always wanting to do things. Like I have too many bearded irises in there. I need to dig some up, but what's a garden if you don't have a list of chores a mile long to do? Here's my aster fricari. This is really pretty because it will start blooming in August, September, and all the way through first frost. So I've really been trying to get, 4-season interest in my garden. I think I'm getting there. And then here's the lemon coral sedum that I learned from Janie. She does this in her pathways, and I really liked it, so I'm trying to replicate it. So you'll see that here with another Michael Glassman idea, repeating. I have the Pugster Blue Buddleia here and here, so that as you walk into our cool fire pit area, there's some repetition. So you'll see I'm trying to do color. So I've got the Kufia, the Vivid Violet Kufia there, mirrored with the raspberry verbena here. So trying to do that. My roses I'm really excited about. I have this trellis. I have on each side a Gertrude Jekyll, not really sure how to say it. And then I have on this side a miniature climber called Jeannie LaJoy. And on this side, a miniature climber called Renee. And I learned about both of those roses from the rosarian Linda Knowles. And she was amazing and invited me over and gave me a cutting. So I'm trying to propagate Renee. I have it in my orphan garden, but I found these from an online distributor. Was really actually Linda Knowles gave me the contact. So I have these, and look at how sweet. Here's a little miniature. So I thought they would be really a nice complement to the maybe showier blooms of Gertrude Jekyll, which is, gorgeous, but big. So I thought that's kind of cool. And I also have a purple tide clematis that I just planted. Got them at Costco. Love Costco. So that will be like a lavender blue. And so hopefully, these are 2-month-old plants. So hopefully they will grow up and fill up this trellis so that when you come in, just like Michael Glassman says, when you walk into our fire pit area, it feels like a special place, ringed with our cousin acacia, the repeating elements of the homestead blue. So that's what I've been really working on, and I'm really excited to see it coming together. A couple plants that I didn't mention before. I have a pittosporum, which I feel like is kind of where it's placed is supposed to be like a star of the show, but it's not. It's just some nice evergreen interest. And then here I have a variegated miniature gardenia, which I don't think get enough sun. It doesn't bloom all that much, but I had another one on the other side, but it died, unfortunately. Such is gardening. And then here's my pot for this year. In here, I've got Helichrysum white licorice, I think it's called. The new Bordeaux 2, which I have to tell you, not really a fan of as much as the Bordeaux 1. It's got too much white. The Bordeaux original had more lavender, light purple on the outside. This is a little too light for me, but that's okay. More of the royal velvet, like I talked about over on the other side. I have my repeating element under my Daphne, royal velvet, and when I go to the other side to show you royal velvet, like I'm trying really hard to do these repeating elements. I've got my white sweet alyssum or lobularia here. I've got blushing princess here, lobularia. So I'm really trying to do repeat, and then a few fun things like this sweet potato vine, and this is Prince Tut. And I have 2 of those pots. And then my pots here, I'm going with Coleus and Creeping Jenny. So they did really well for me. And one of the few things that Michael Glassman went, stunning, don't change a thing. So I'm like, okay, I won't. I had to spray with BT. Can you see that? It's a hole here. So the budworms found it, unfortunately. So I knew you had to spray super petunias, but coleus, I thought maybe I might be safe, but nope. Look at how cool this coleus is, though. Isn't that neat? I don't know the name of them. It's a variety from Monrovia that I got at Green Acres, which is my local spot. Then you should all know this is my pride and joy. This is David Austin Royal Jubilee. Something that new that we did this year is we put the black rock down, and I really like how it looks. Yeah, I've got some weeding to do, but for the most part, I think the black rock just makes it look so much better. Like we're not done yet. We have 10 more bags we have to put out, but the black rock versus the dirt with the, I just think it looks really good. And you guys have heard me talk about this a million times. Royal Jubilee is the most stunning rose. It just is huge. I have 3 of them in here, and then I've got this salvia. This is rock and purple salvia, living its best life. I probably have to divide it. It's a little too big, but it's just just the other night we were having dinner outside, and we looked over and there was a hummingbird moth all in here. I mean, it was just so cool. I feel like because I don't use pesticides or herbicides or insecticides, I just feel like I really see a lot of amazing life in our garden. That makes me happy. All right, and then against this bed, this is my sunniest bed of the whole house. So I struggle here because it is my sunny spot. I want to just put everything over here that I love. So it ends up being like this mishmash of a million things. So Michael Glassman's advice was pare it down, repeat, keep some elements the same. So I'm really, really trying. So here is my repeating element. I've got the royal velvet. I've got some African daisy, which was blooming earlier this year, and now it's kind of getting ready for its second flush. Some penstemon. Obviously, super petunia bubblegum is always a showstopper in my lime tree. I've got plumbago here, which is a beautiful blue. I mean, and I don't have this blue anywhere, so it really is a special plant. And then I've got another Ruby Falls weeping red bud here, and then I have it underplanted with Truffula Pink Gonfrina and Meteor Showers Verbena. It's got a name called Bonanciaris. I can never say that very well. And just keeping that purple royal velvet, right? Just keeping that element. And then here I've got more of the pink cashmere verbena. So that's my repeating element, right? And then every once in a while I'll have this, sorry, my shadow, the pink, right? And then where I have kind of these 2 colors coming together, I'm trying to put silver. So pink with silver in the middle. Pink, purple, silver in the middle. This is Helichrysum. This beautiful plant is a wallflower, and with that whole repeating element, I just planted yesterday 4 more here. So I'll have this wall of this really pretty, and then this is an at last rose. I have 5 of them back here. So hopefully that will get bigger and come up above. That's done for its first flush. So I feel like they'll all kind of tie in nicely together in terms of, blooming out. This is a Japanese anemone, Fall in Love Sweetly. That's what it's called. I couldn't remember it. That hopefully will behave itself. Japanese anemone, unfortunately, is a really kind of a living its best life, and it reproduces by underground runners, and it can really take over, something I don't want it to do because it's a big plant, So fingers crossed that won't spread for me. I had a regular Japanese anemone in here, not the Proven Winners one, and I dug it out, and looking over here, I see some babies that have, not been dug out. So we're going to have to deal with that. Another May night, another Shasta daisy. So here my repeat. Pink cashmere, royal blue velvet, silver, so hopefully when this all sort of comes together, you'll really see. And I'm trying color blocking. So I'm trying to put more colors together. New for me this year is this dahlia. I think it's called Vivid Violet or something like that. It's proven winners. I got it from, I think I got this from Creekside. I got a bunch of plants from Creekside, and for the most parts, they were okay. I had a few disappointments in there. So yeah, some more Bonanciaris, Meteor Shower, Pink Cashmere, and then I've got the Mystic Spires or the Unplugged Blue, Proven Winners branded one. So, you know, it's just kind of repeating element. This is kind of the last area. Sorry, I'll go into the shade. Maybe that's better. This is kind of the last area that I think I'll see major change. So in addition to the fence that we're doing over on the other side, you know, we're just looking at a plain black fence. The fence stain is new, by the way. I want to put in trellis here and put star jasmine. So it kind of softens this fence a little bit, and maybe even extend it up a little bit above the fence so that it kind of matches the height of my crepe myrtles and my red tip Fontinia. So when you're sitting looking at this side of the house, we have some height consistency. So that was another Michael Glassman suggestion. So we'll work on that. And then this bed, I finally feel like I've gotten it. I've tried a lot of different things. Mostly, if you've watched my other videos, you know, right? This giant redwood, well, there's 3 of them in there. They just are so hard to plant. They suck up all the moisture. They put their roots, so it's a webbing of roots in here. So we need to plant things that like acid, that are a little bit tougher. So I've had just a lot of trials and failures, and I feel, now we'll see, this is just, I haven't gone into a summer with this bed yet, so we'll see. But I've got more of my cousin acacia, and then I have Proven Winners Perfecto Mundo, I think it's called, double azalea. So I've got those. They love acid, so they should be doing well. And then I've got my pots where I've got my sky pencil and my Silver Falls dichondra in there. And then this beautiful tree, which is a coral bark maple. And this will get bigger. Right now it's blocking our cool fun sign, which I did not steal, by the way. But it will grow up and we'll be able to see the sign a little bit better as it gets bigger. And then to sort of finish up our tour, I will share with you that I think, someone can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I figured out why they call these double up begonias. It's because they have 2 different kinds of flowers on them. They have this ruffly one, and then they have this flat one. Who knew? I didn't know that when I bought them, and I love it. But this, yeah. So these are my new ones. I tried to follow the recipe on Proven Winners sites. It's called Dutch something, double Dutch maybe, but they didn't have everything that I needed. So I've kind of had to, you know, do the best I can. This is the trailing Terenia or wishbone flower. Oh, isn't that so pretty? And then I've got the double up in here. I already had this cool heuchera in here, which is, I don't know if it's supposed to look like this. Can you see that in this shade? Or if I have something going on, but it's like speckled. Isn't that neat? But yeah, this is the pot's new. I had violas in there before, and oh my gosh, they were so beautiful. But they'll die as soon as it gets hot. So yeah, here's an example of the double up. This flower and this flower. Isn't that cool? So then on the wishbone, and then this fun heuchera with it's just all polka dotty. So I do have another begonia in here. It's down here. It's an apple blossom. Those were the ones I got from Creekside that I was very unhappy with, and I'm not sure they're ever gonna really take off. I got these from Proven Winners Direct, and you can just see the difference between these and those. I raised the issue to their customer service, but they didn't really seem to care. And here's one last pot. I've got a couple ferns in here, and then this is vintage coral, super bells. Is that pretty? Oh, so pretty. It's more red in the shade, which I think is, or I mean in the sun. It's more yellow orange in the shade, which I think is kind of interesting. And then I think these are really cool ferns. Aren't those neat? Can't remember the name of them. I have not yet done my tags for these yet. So yeah, something new, something different, something fun. Look at that. That's just so cool. Whoever invented this, rock on. All right. Well, this is where I will wrap up this extremely long tour with this beautiful view of my garden. I hope you like the changes that we've made, and I hope you follow along to the changes that we continue to make, and you can join me on all my hits and misses of gardening. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you get a chance to go out and enjoy the hits in your garden. Oh, hello. Maybe we won't leave you just yet. Hi, my friend. I hope you get a chance to enjoy the hits in your garden.